So good morning, everyone, and good day. And I marvel at what we're doing here in these mornings, our electronic meeting, and that we should somehow have this connection over great geographical distances and to be breathing at the same time, practicing mindfulness at the same time, and each of us being here in our own unique place and being here um, in this broad um, global way as well. And to have this dual here-ness, it seems pretty profound that we somehow simultaneously are present for our immediate experience, and we have this wondrous and very significant connection to this here, which is broad and wide and encompassing maybe the globe. And so thank you. So the here of mindfulness practice has a lot to do with being mindful of the body, being here in this body. And if all you did was just recognize that you're here in this body, that this is the body, this is the experience of the body, over and over again, the mindfulness would grow and develop in all kinds of ways that doesn't have to be so complicated or sophisticated, just a simple recognition here in this body. And in a sense, the task of mindfulness is to bring the mind into harmony with the body. The body is always in the present moment. The mind, it may be, is often not. It's thinking about the past, about the future, about fantasy. It's not really connected to what's here and now. And if we want the body and mind to be in harmony, to work together, which is really the best way of operating in this life, then it's the task of inviting, welcoming the mind into the body, into accompanying the body, allowing the body to accompany the mind. Have these two operating in the same place at the same time. And the principle seems quite simple. The actuality is that the mind has a mind of its own and has strong things it wants to do. And when that's the case, then it's possible to bring the body to the mind, which means really feel the physicality of a distracted mind, of a preoccupied mind, of a psycho-emotional system that is fueled by emotions. Feel what's happening that keeps you from the body, keeps you from being present, but feel it in the body. Welcome it into the body. Invite it into the body. Invite the body into what you're feeling. So it's constantly coming back and creating this intimacy between the mind and the body. So the body is really, so we really become more and more grounded in this body. So assuming, entering into a posture, a bodily posture that supports you, both in being present, but also supports you in entering more fully into mindfulness of the body. Almost as if you can be aware from your body, through your body, all the nerve endings that exist throughout the body is where awareness begins. Sometimes we think awareness begins in the mind, but awareness begins in the nerve endings. And what is it to relax into all the nerve endings throughout the body and allow the awareness to arise there. So then gently closing the eyes, and to make this connection to the body fuller, to invite ourselves into the body, you might take a few long, slow, deep breaths. Feeling the increase of bodily sensations as you breathe in deeply, maybe throughout the torso. Sometimes at deep inhalations you can feel a lifting of the chest and the shoulders. If the belly is relaxed, you can also feel the pushing down into the sitting bones. And this combination of lifting and settling, moving up and moving down. On the inhale, and then a relaxing and coming back to the center with the exhale. Letting your breathing return to normal. And allowing all your muscles that are not used to hold hold you upright. Let all the extra muscles fall away from the bones. If you are physically sitting upright, you can think of your spine as a post from which hang all the muscles of the torso. And whatever is not used to hold the post upright, let it hang from that post. So the shoulders, the muscles of the shoulders, no need to hold them up or tight, but as you exhale, relax the shoulders. And in the back rib cage, as you exhale, let the back ribs also relax and fall away, relax away from the spine. Maybe on the exhale there can be a releasing and relaxing of the small of the back. Maybe subtle. And as you exhale, to soften the belly. Maybe the belly doesn't have to work during the exhale. Letting the diaphragm do all the work, which is mostly the work of releasing. The diaphragm releases itself and softening the muscles of the face, relaxing the face. Sometimes if you feel carefully the face, you can feel it's tired. The muscles are tired from all the work of expressing ourselves. To release and relax the muscles of the face. And then to release the tensions in your brain the tightness and pressure associated with thinking, if it's there. On the exhale, relaxing the thinking mind, quieting your thoughts. And then maybe as the home for the meditation, you can drop into your body to wherever you feel you're breathing as you meditate. But wherever it is, be aware of it as sensations, physical sensations of the body. And the task is to let the mind, let the attention, the presence of the mind be connected to this body, breathing, appreciating the opportunity to have the mind accompany the body and the body accompany the mind, for them to be working together with the same focus. And when you notice you've lost that connection to the body because you've drifted off in thought, reestablish this intimacy, this connection to body. This is the place to be. One breath at a time. If you have even the slightest anxiety about the meditation, maybe it's helpful if you could know that it's trustable, this practice. Trust it. It'll work itself out, help you find a way. There's no need to try to do it right. Especially if you allow yourself just to feel it in your body, whatever is here. Let the body be the home for here and now. Let the body show itself to you. Nothing you need to search. And then as we come to the end of the sitting, perhaps for a few moments, can you allow yourself to be even more fully centered in your body? Perhaps feeling how your weight is supported by something, the chair, your cushion, the bed. Feeling the stability of that support. How that stable support affirms that your body is here and now. And staying rooted in your body here, without leaning forward or leaning back, without getting pulled into the world of thoughts too far. Bring into your hearts the world around you, the people and the circles around you, and your neighborhoods, communities, places of work, towns, countrysides, countries and continents, and the whole globe. And you, rooted here in this time and place, aware and open to this wide world of living beings. And you are one of them. And in the awareness of this wide circle of beings, to sit here rooted and grounded with an open heart. And for these last minutes, to dedicate the benefits of this practice we've done, and maybe open to the possibility that that dedication can be for all beings, for the welfare and happiness of others, and that this might be your wish, that in some way or other, known or unknown, that your meditation and the way you live your life can be such that it leaves the world in a better place. May all beings be happy. May all beings be safe. May all beings be peaceful. And may all beings be free. Thank you. No sound. Thank you for everyone saying it. So I jumped ahead before all the buttons were pushed. So for this week, what I'd like to do is to talk about mindfulness of the body, to make that the theme. And maybe as a theme, it can be your theme as you go through the week. That you can... So mindfulness of the body is one of the foundational basic practices for mindfulness. It is it's the first exercise in the discourse on the four foundations of mindfulness, the most basic teachings from the Buddha on mindfulness practice. And in that there's 6 exercises. No, there's 6 exercises associated with mindfulness of the body. And here in the 7 a.m. sittings, we've done the first one, which is the first tetrad of Anapanasati. So we did that in January. And so I won't do it now, this week. And we'll do the remaining 5. And I like to think that these remaining 5 are built on the foundation of the first exercise, that those 4 tetrads of mindfulness of breathing. And that's been the focus so much, mindfulness of breathing, in the 7 a.m. sittings, that we'll take that just as already kind of established, and then we'll go on to the other exercises. And now mindfulness of the body is such a wonderful practice. It provides so much. One of the important things it does, which I'll emphasize today, it's a protection. It's a way of being protected as you go through your life. And because when you're grounded in your body, you're much more able to pick up a wider range of what's happening around you. The body is kind of like an antenna that picks up through all the different forms of perception that the body is capable of, including the inward perception to the emotional reactions, responses we have. We're able to pick up what's going on and how we're responding, and when we feel there's danger, when we feel that there's something to be concerned about. Not only externally, but also internally. When we're in danger of losing our ethics, when we're in danger of losing our peace, when we're in danger of acting on something which we regret, acting on greed or hatred or delusion. And the body is a repository of so much evidence for what's shifting and changing in us, that sometimes it's the early warning sign, and sometimes it's the body that gives us indication of what's going on before the mind knows, because the body is more attuned to our subconscious. And the mind sometimes is not so attuned to it, maybe because we're preoccupied in other things, rushing ahead. And so many times in my life, so because I have a habit of checking in with my body, do I notice that I'm rushing, or notice that I'm tense, and or pulling back and holding myself back from a situation. And I don't notice that in the mind because I'm thinking about things, or I want things to be a certain way, or I'm reacting and living in the reactivity. But because of the habit of connecting to my body, I feel and sense what's going on better. And in the subconscious, or the early kind of beginnings of things. And so it keeps me safe. It keeps me from getting lost into that world of things. So the body is a great protector for us. Mindfulness of the body is, if we stay connected. And so the second exercise of mindfulness of the body in the 4 foundations of mindfulness is mindfulness of posture. And that doesn't take a lot of refined attention to the body to be aware of posture. It's so in terms of people who, there are many people who are not so connected to their body, and there's a lot of reasons for that, and maybe we'll talk more about that as we go along here. But maybe at least we can kind of recognize the posture that we're in. And the bar for this posture mindfulness is pretty low. And so I'll read you so you can really know, believe me, that how low the bar is. The Buddha says, again, when walking, a practitioner knows, I am walking. When standing, one knows, I am standing. When sitting, one knows, I am sitting. When lying down, one knows, I am lying down. So that seems like a pretty low bar. Did you know that's pretty, pretty obvious, I hope, that we're standing, walking, sitting, lying down, that you know that you're doing that. But don't underestimate the tremendous value of knowing this, really knowing it. So not just knowing it casually in passing, but to really kind of recognize, have a clear recognition, I'm standing now, I'm sitting now, I'm walking. It begins to, or laying down, it begins to create space in the mind for more present moment awareness. It interrupts the mind stream that we're sometimes an automatic pilot thinking and wanting. It interrupts the kind of preoccupation sometimes with emotions, rumination around it that's emotionally based, that we get lost in. It's kind of like taking a sacred pause. Oh, this is what I'm doing. And then maybe take time to feel this. I'm standing, here I am. It's a chance for the body to regroup, to reorganize, to get connected, to get grounded. Here I'm sitting. Before I start speaking right away, let me get grounded in my seat. If you're about to speak at a meeting or someplace, maybe take a moment to feel yourself here, sitting, as in preparation, so that you're not so completely caught in what has to be said. So you're more receptive to the environment as well. Because the more we are grounded here in the body, the more the body awareness is more available for what's going around as well, around us. And but certainly the mindfulness of the posture can be more refined. When we're standing, are we leaning forward? Are we pulled back? Are we collapsed in some way? When we're sitting, the same thing. Are we sagging into the back of the couch, removing ourselves from the conversation we have with someone else? Or are we sitting upright so we're available and present, so there's more of us able to meet the person we're talking to, or be present for the act of speaking, or whatever we're doing? Sometimes if we're too collapsed in a chair, it might feel relaxing, but there is sometimes a loss of attentiveness and presence and involvement with what we're doing. So, and if we can sit in a or stand in a posture that's balanced and upright, then we're available to more information of what's happening to us. Like there's a greater range. We notice if we lean forward. We notice if we're pulling back. We're noticing if we're collapsing. But if we're always collapsed, there's maybe less variation that's possible. It's kind of like if we're in the midpoint, it's we feel the pendulum moving this way and that way. But if we're stuck on one end of the pendulum, we don't have that refined sensitivity of what's going on. When we're walking, how are we walking? What does it say about our mood, our emotional state? So all these different places, what's happening? And when we're sitting, when we're walking, standing, all these as well, are we doing so in a way that's physically healthy for us? Is it the one that is puts the body most at ease, the least amount of tension being held to hold the posture? So it's a fascinating world, the emphasis on posture. And so the Buddha emphasized it. You can keep it at a very low bar, just to know your posture as you go through the day. Or you can be more refined about it and notice the details of posture and how maybe you've lost a balanced posture and what does that tell you about yourself, and how is it that coming back into a balanced posture protects you and keeps you more balanced so you can do what you need to do in a better way. And the virtue of this exercise is how incredibly simple it is. When walking, know you're walking. When standing, know you're standing. When sitting, know you're sitting. And when you're lying down, know you're lying down. But this knowing is really know it. And see if what space is created, what clarity arises, what information then becomes available to you. That if you don't just know it in passing, but you really, in a sense, stop and really know it over and over again through the day. So if you're inclined for these next 24 hours, why don't you try to make a practice of mindfulness of posture, a study of it. Study yourself through your posture. Study mindfulness that arises with posture and how different postures support greater presence and greater mindfulness or lesser of it. Just make a study. And if you have the occasion, you might talk to other people about what their experience of posture and mindfulness awareness of posture is in their lives. And you might get some fascinating conversations. There are certain professions where posture is, a key to how they manage well. And may the day be a wonderful day of discovery and appreciation of this body of ours. So thank you.